x plus 3y is greater than negative 6, and 5x plus 3y is less than or equal to negative 6. So my first graph, I'm going to have a dashed line, because that says greater than. My second graph, I'm going to have a solid line, because that says less than or equal to. I have to rewrite both of these into y equals mx plus b. So to do that, my first graph, I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I'm going to have 3y is greater than negative x minus 6. I'm going to divide by 3. And I'm going to rewrite it as y is greater than negative 1/3 x minus 2. In my second graph, I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. And I'm going to have 3y is less than or equal to negative 5x minus 6. And I'm going to divide by 3. And I'm going to have y is less than or equal to negative 5/3 x minus 2. I'm going to graph this, both of these. So I'm going to graph this the same way I would graph y equals negative 1/3 x minus 2. And I'm going to graph this the same way I would graph y equals negative 5/3 x minus 2. I'm going to start with this first graph up here. So I start at my negative 2, and I go down 1 and over 3 throughout my graph. I'm going to break out my ruler. And I'm going to draw a dashed line. And if I notice 0, 0 is not located on my line, so I'm going to plug it in. Is 0 greater than negative 1/3 times 0 minus 2? Is 0 greater than negative 2? Yes, it is. So I'm going to shade the region of the graph that contains 0, 0. So that would be everything above my dashed line. So all of this would be considered part of the solution to the inequality. I'm going to graph my second equation, y equals negative 5/3 x minus 2. So I'm going to start at the negative 2, and I'm going to go down 5 and over 3. I'm going to break out my ruler. And this one is going to be a solid line. Zero, 0 is not located on my line, so I plug it in. Is 0 less than or equal to negative 5/3 times 0 minus 2? Is 0 less than or equal to negative 2? No, it is not. That's not a true statement, so I shade the region of the graph that does not contain 0, 0. So that would be everything on this side of my graph. So all of this would be considered the solution to this line. And the region of the graph that gets shaded twice would be considered the solution to the system of inequalities.